In our video number 5, let's discuss about the collection of data, which happens to be unit number 2 in Statistics for Economics of class 11. Let's first understand what is a statistical enquiry and how data is collected for the purpose. Statistical enquiry is an investigation by an agency on a topic to collect relevant quantitative information. For any statistical enquiry, the basic problem is to collect facts and figures relating to a particular phenomena under study. How is the statistical enquiry made, and who are the players involved in it? The first is an investigator, a person who conducts the statistical enquiry. He is called the investigator. The investigator will employ some enumerators under him who collect information for the investigator. The investigator has a reason to collect the statistical enquiry. The enumerators then reach out for respondents from whom information is collected. So you and me are respondents who would answer the questions of enumerators who collect information for the investigator for a statistical enquiry. Then comes the survey, the method of gathering information. A statistical enquiry helps the investigator to conduct the enquiry with the help of the enumerators who reach out for the respondents, and the whole procedure is called the survey. In a survey, data is collected by the enumerators. Now, what is data? Data is a tool which helps in understanding problems by providing information. The information that is directly collected from the respondents by the enumerators for the investigator is called data. Now this has a variable. A variable is a quantity or an attribute whose value varies from one investigation to another. Let's understand this with the help of a small data. Now here we have a data that has been collected. The statistical enquiry states the production of food grains in India in million tons. So this is the purpose why we are collecting the information. Now in the year 1970-71, the production of food grains was 108 million tons. Whereas in 1978-79, the production of food grains was 132 million tons. And in 1979-80, it was 108 million tons. The same in 1990-91 was 176 million tons, and that in 1996-97 was 199 million tons. Now in this case, year is something that keeps changing and hence called the variable. And in this case, it is the production of food grains that also keeps changing from year to year. Now what are the sources from which data can be collected? There are two sources from which we can collect data: the internal sources and the external sources. The internal sources is that, for example, an organization from which data is collected from its reports and records. You can also say the annual report of a company. Then the external sources. The external sources refer to the data collected from outside the organization. And this can be primary data or secondary data. The primary data is the data which is originally collected by an investigator directly, or an agency for the first time for some specific purpose. For example, the census conducted by the Government of India. It is first-hand information. The primary data that is collected is published and hence becomes the secondary data. So what is secondary data? Secondary data is which is not directly collected but rather obtained from published or unpublished sources and is known as the secondary data. It is also known as the second-hand data because some enumerator or investigator collected it and published it, and that was used by somebody else, and hence it's called the secondary data. The examples include the National Account Statistics published by the CSO or an economic survey published by the Government of India.